Happy Friday, and you have made it all the way through the week. We're glad you're joining with us as we wrap up this first part of the third chapter of Paul's second letter to Timothy. In it, Jesus promises that foolishness won't last forever, that the foolishness of those who are rebelling against God will sooner or later be found out. The fact of the matter is, these kind of stupid mistakes usually collapse under their own weight. A husband has an affair and he leaves his text open and the wife discovers the affair. Because foolishness sooner or later acts foolishly and everything crumbles, everything is discovered, everything comes down. What you and I don't understand is that the judgment for sin is already baked in the sin itself. Most of the time when you and I are faced with temptation, do I do this or do I not do this? We go through a calculus in our head thinking, well, if I do this, what's the downside? What's the consequence? And honestly, if the consequence isn't that bad, we may go ahead and do it anyway, right? After all, it's just one Oreo. It's 8 grams of fat or whatever. So, hey, how bad can that hurt me, right? So you do this calculus in your head, and we think if the judgment's not hard enough, not enough to inflict severe pain in our lives, then we go ahead and do the sin. What we don't understand is just because there's not a bolt of lightning from the sky doesn't mean you got away with it. In Amos, the prophet Amos, God says, for the 3 sins of Jerusalem, even for 4, I will not cause it to turn back. Now, here's what that means. For all the sins I can count, for more sins than I can count, you keep sinning and sinning and sinning, even though I'm telling you what's going to happen. When you sin, your sin begins the process of judgment. It's working through the machinery. Sooner or later, it will catch up with you. Now, Amos has said that God has stuck his hand in that machinery, and the consequences of your sin are piling up like water against a dam. And God's going to remove his hand, and when he does, judgment will flood our lives when it happens. And it won't be that, wow, God has finally hit you with a bolt of lightning or finally lost patience. It will be just that the punishment took its time to work through the machinery, and this is the time that it made itself known. You didn't get away with anything. It's coming sooner or later. Your foolishness will be known to all, because in every sin is its own punishment. And you know this to be true, right? If you lie, you become a liar, and nobody believes you. There was no big act of God, no flash of lightning from the sky. It was just the natural consequence of the sin of lying. So, what temptation are you faced with right now where you're weighing the options? Well, if I do it, will it hurt that bad? Trust me, it will hurt more than you have ever dreamed it would. What are the consequences that you're dealing with now that you need to deal with forgiveness and restoration? You didn't get away with anything. Every sin has its own punishment. And so I'll leave you with this thought. This is a good time, these next 60 seconds, to deal with repentance, honesty, and restoration. God doesn't want you to suffer. He doesn't want you to endure all of this. So use these next 60 seconds to deal honestly with your mistakes, and I'll see you next time.